Our political editor, Beth Rigby, is there. Beth, I mean, there's so much on the agenda, as is the case these days, that sort of develops and will force the Prime Minister and those fellow leaders to think about and respond to. But what was the original aim of this trip, and just how significant was it?
Look, there's a couple of elements to this trip today, and it is significant. Number one, I'm actually here at NATO headquarters. The Prime Minister is coming to NATO this afternoon, where he'll hold talks with the Secretary-General, Mark Rutte. He had Olaf Scholz, the outgoing German Chancellor, at Chequers yesterday. They had private conversations on deepening defence ties between the UK and Europe, talking no doubt about Ukraine and that imminent peace negotiation that Donald Trump says he wants. So these two gentlemen are going to meet here. There will be a press conference. There will be lots of questions about Ukraine, defence spending, and Donald Trump, of course. And then he is going, as you said, to have a dinner with the EU 27 leaders, an informal dinner at the EU Council. It's the first time a British Prime Minister has joined colleagues in that way since 2020. So it's a big moment. And broadly, the Prime Minister's got three buckets, if you like, of what he wants to talk about. The overarching thing is trying to reset relations between the UK and EU. Specifically, he wants to talk about defence, and I mentioned there, of course, Ukraine, top of the agenda. He wants to push for more sanctions. He wants to push for more coordinated support for Ukraine to put Zelensky in as good a position as possible ahead of those peace negotiations. And you saw the Prime Minister in Ukraine to that end but a couple of weeks ago. The second area is security, improving security. He wants the EU to open up databases so that the UK can better monitor migration crime, illegal migration. And then the third bucket is trade. And isn't that live at the moment, with Donald Trump making those remarks overnight, implying that he is preparing to put trade tariffs on the EU, who he says, to quote him, is really out of line, running a massive deficit with the US, which Trump does not much like a trade deficit, and then some remarks on the UK as well. Look, for Keir Starmer, I think what he wants to do on trade is work out how we can have a closer trading relationship with Europe. He's looking at areas about whether or not we can change arrangements around food, veterinary products, in order to try and reduce paperwork between some of that trading relationship. But I have to say the EU will want things in return. They want more access to UK fishing waters. They want more freedom of movement. I should hasten to add the UK government would not describe it like that, but they would like more exchanges between young people. They want young people to be able to come and study and work in the UK. An EU mobility scheme is what it would be called, something that the UK government isn't that keen on. So there will be a bit of horse trading, but the broad picture is to try and tighten and strengthen relationships between the UK and the EU amid this very uncertain time with Trump in the White House.